There we were, cruising along in a rocket, and came across some aliens. Can I ask them the big questions? Did they build the pyramids? Why do they always abduct redneck Americans and no one else in the world? They didn't have much, unfortunately, we didn't see any aliens out there this time. We did come across some fellow astronauts as we went along, and that was Katy Perry and crew on the Blue Horizon. So it was great to see them up there. We gave them a wave, and of course, they were riding on their big rocket ship that looked like a, you know what? Well, sadly, we didn't have a rocket ship to take us from Mendoza up into the Andes Mountains. We had to jump on this bus, and there we are. There's Meryl and I giving everyone a big wave. One of the things I didn't expect to see, we didn't expect to see, I should say, was a big lake up there with sailing ships, but nonetheless, they were there, up there doing their thing, sailing around, which was pretty cool. That's all the water that goes down to feed all the grapes in Mendoza. This was a bridge built by the conquistadors, the Spanish conquistadors back in the day. We did engage in some local activity and made some rock art. Marilyn was very impressed with the work she's created there, and I'll give you a close-up shot of that. Wonderful stuff. Well done, Marilyn. Very impressive. We looked for wildlife around, and these were the only ones we could find. Stuffed llamas up at a little village that was a railway stop when they had a railway between Santiago and Chile and Mendoza in Argentina. That's part of that little town there. I did find something a bit unusual, which was an old Mini. I'm sure if you put some oil and some fuel in it, a new battery, that thing can crank over. Now this is up at 2,700 metres, so really getting up there in terms of elevation, and this was the Hotel Inca. So it's a piece of glacier, that ice that went over there and formed a natural bridge. It's got hot springs there, so the oxidization and all the other stuff. They did have a hotel built on top of this where you could go and have the springs, but that got crushed in a landslide back in the day. But absolutely beautiful spot there, and right at the foothills. Oh, no, the foothills are right in the middle of the Andes. Street art, which is everywhere in Argentina again. Here's Marilyn sitting down with some of the friends. They had no wine, they had no cheese, so she decided to leave them by themselves. And here we are right at the top in between Chile and Argentina, so that was the centre point, right on top of the Andes Mountains. The landscape, like I said, with the Mars thing, I've never been to Mars naturally, and probably never will be, I guess. But it's just unbelievable. There's just no vegetation. It's as close to Mars on Earth, I think, as you get. Maybe there's some places in Utah, etc. Here's a zoom up. There was a whole lot of trucks lined up, and this is the main road between Argentina and Chile on that from that part of the country, and there was an accident there, and there's just kilometres and kilometres of trucks. A bit of glacial action still there in place, even though it was the end of summer. This plane passing over, you could almost felt like you'd reach up and grab it. It was up there in the sky. There's us. My bald head looks not out of place up there because there's nothing growing on that as there is around, as there is like growing around. Here are some of the huts when the people were hiking and going across in weather that they could seek refuge in. And this is where we had lunch down in the valley, right? That big one, Twin Peaks in the middle. Really impressive day, fantastic. If you get to Mendoza, go and do it. It's well worth it. You won't regret it. It's like nothing else in this world.